Hello and welcome to That Was Golf. My name is Calum MacVicar. Thank you as always for joining us. Today's episode of our In Conversation With series is with French-Dutch women's pro golfer Lauren Holmey, who currently plays on the Ladies European Tour Access Series. In this long-form episode, Lauren and I discuss her current touring schedule, her patience and learning in overcoming health issues, a love of travel and languages, and much, much more. I really enjoyed recording this episode with Lauren, and I can't thank her enough for her time, honesty, and joy that she brought to the conversation. If you like this episode, give us a follow on our Instagram page at ThatWasGolfPod, and subscribe to the podcast to stay up to date with all future episodes. Oh, no problem. How are you? And where are you just now?
I'm home.
You're home.
I got home in the middle of the night, kind of.
Oh,
But I'm home for the week. Yeah.
Did you drive straight from Germany back to Paris?
No, we had a flight, but it got delayed a little bit, so we got home a little later than planned.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. And how are you feeling after 3 weeks on the road?
Pretty good. I'm happy to be home, even though the 40 degrees were not really what I would would have hoped for, but we have to make do with what we have. Hopefully, I can still get some good rest and a good practice in during the week, and then we go again next Sunday.
Okay, nice. So, taking a break this week, no event. You're not doing the Sweden event, no?
No,
No,
not
okay.
playing this week, just practicing, like working on a couple stuff, but it's gonna be early mornings, I think. It goes 40 degrees, it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Is that going to be the temperature for the full week this week? Is it all going to be very, very hot?
Yeah, it's gonna be between like 33 at like the coldest to
Oh,
40 in the shade. So it's not even in the sun. Yeah, it's
oh,
gonna be hot outside.
yeah, that's like kind of like what it's like down here in Australia. Like we get that
Right.
temperature in summer. It's winter just now, so it's like much,
Yeah.
much colder. But yeah, geez, that's going to be hot.
Where about in Australia are you?
I'm in Sydney, so I'm over on the
Okay.
East Coast. Yeah, so I was really close for a couple of the Ladies European Tour events that are at the start of the season, which was cool. So I went to
Hmm.
a couple of those at the start of the season, which was great.
Nice. Nice.
Have you
Fun.
ever been down here before?
No, never.
Oh,
Never had the,
okay.
but hopefully next year would be
Yeah, I
lovely.
was gonna say if you like do real good at the start end of this season, you should be starting the season down here next year, right?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, there's no reason why the Australian events will not go through again next year. So
Yeah, of
definitely
course.
look forward to them.
So what does a practice week look like for you? What are you going to be doing this week?
Well, I think I'm gonna take a couple days off. So up until Wednesday, it's just gonna be rest and working out a little bit, trying to get my body into a good rhythm. And then Thursday through Sunday, it will probably be just maintenance work. And then
Hmm.
whenever I go on the course, it'll be scoring.
Okay,
So just
cool.
like trying to stay in that kind of tournament dynamic
Yeah.
to keep playing and not overcomplicate stuff, but hopefully I can see my coach around Thursday,
Yeah.
work a little bit with him, see if everything's okay, if nothing changed, and yeah, just practicing like we always do in
Oh,
between
nice.
tournaments.
Are you taking a little bit more time out between events the more that time goes by? I know that you had like quite like a long time out through injury. So are you
Yeah.
managing your time now in between events with this?
Yeah, definitely a lot better. I think I've gotten a lot better at scheduling. So even though there is an event in Sweden this week and I could have played, and honestly, I was on the plane going back home last night, and I was just thinking, how come I'm not playing to like next week? How come I'm not on my way to Sweden? So it's still like mentally, you still want to keep playing. You want to play as much as possible, but I think rest is just as important and as part of the performance as practicing and playing and during your practice rounds and things like that. So rest has become very important to me,
Yeah.
and managing my rest and really making sure that my body's in like good conditions to perform has become very, very important to me.
Did that take you like a little bit of time to adapt to? Because I was looking at some of your sort of results as an amateur, and as like like when you're younger, you're like playing. loads and loads and traveling lots and lots and lots. Is that something that you had to take a little while to adjust and kind of slow down?
Yes and no, I think, because I've always felt like I was playing very good whenever I had like a good few days off with no
Hmm.
golf, nothing golf wise on my mind, and just really freshening up my head and my body. So I've always felt like I was the kind of player that didn't have to practice or play a lot leading into a tournament. But it's true that during that first LET year that I got sick, and then I really saw that like the toll it could take on your body when you're not managing things properly and you're losing weight and you're not doing things the way your body wants you to do them. It's just
Hmm.
it gets so hard that I've really taken a step back and be like, okay, what kind of player am I? What do I really need? And what
Hmm.
I really need is really prioritize that rest. So even if it means just staying home and doing nothing except my little 1 hour workout to stay dynamic,
Yeah.
rest is so important that I'll fill my day up with other things like reading, watching a movie, eating good food. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've played a lot the past few years, and I've only now felt like I really understand what kind of schedule I need,
Oh,
practice and
that's
wise, which is good.
That's so good that you've realized that so like early into your career that like this is the way that you need to work because it seems to be working really well for you this year. Like you have a win, tied second this week, tied seventh the week before. Are you feeling like you're in a really good spot right now?
Yeah, honestly, I do. It just feels like all the hard work that we put in the winter has really come to fruition on the course, which is a great feeling because you can work hard and work hard, but you have no guarantee that it's going to show up on the course when you want it to show up. So I've just felt like the work we've put in has really put me on the right path.
Hmm.
And I'm just very at ease with the way I'm playing, with my game, with my strengths, and the things that I still need to work on. Like, I think I've analyzed them quite well. And so I really know how to manage my round and what kind of things I should look out for on specific courses, things like that. So I just feel like I'm in a very good dynamic, and I don't think there is anything to change for the coming tournaments. I think it's just going to be maintenance and, like we just said, prioritizing rest and feeling refreshed physically and mentally.
Amazing. So good. When you were taking your break off in winter, was there anything like kind of physically that you had to focus on to get yourself ready for the start of this season?
Well, a big change that I had happening during the winter was that we finally put a finger on what I've been feeling for years and years, and that's
Ah.
constant low blood sugar. So I don't
Ah.
have diabetes. I have kind of like the opposite of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite weird, but ever since I'm like 6 or 7 or even younger, I think I've had those episodes where I would feel very faint. I would not be able to walk. I would get very pale. I would be starting like to sweat, things like that. And we had
Yeah.
no real explanation for that. And sometimes it just felt like on the course everything was going well, and then my mind would just go blank, or I would feel physically very faint and very weak. And I finally met a doctor that took it seriously around November, December last year. And so
Amazing.
she told me, just put a glucose catheter on your arm for 2 weeks. Let's just see how you regulate your blood sugar. And then we just realized that I'm very low all the time.
Wow.
So my body creates too much insulin, which is the opposite of diabetes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's helped like so much. It's had a huge impact on my practice, on well how I feel every day, how I wake up, because I used to need like half an hour just laying in bed and trying to wake up. And we just
Yeah.
realized that during the night it was just so low that I should have been kind of almost fainting during the night, but it's become so normal that that was just my body. I just thought, oh, I'm not a morning person. But now I've realized that I'm doing a lot better. Now I can just wake up, get out of bed, and be happy and be cheerful. And before that, I could be quite, like grumpy.
Oh, that's so good and amazing that you found a doctor to like take it seriously and understand that process for you as well.
Definitely, yeah, it's been huge. So definitely a big help, and no longer hearing that, oh, she's growing, or drink more water, or
Yeah.
it's probably not much, or like eat better, something like that. Of course, I've had to change my relationship with food. I've had to change a couple things, but now
Hmm.
at least I know that it was really due to something, and just regulating has made a huge impact on my day-to-day life. So,
That's so good to hear. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. You like a big lover of food. Did you have to change any parts of what you ate to change for that you really miss, or anything that you had to change that you weren't very happy about?
well, I've really had to start taking my greens seriously.
Okay, yeah.
I've really had to incorporate vegetables pretty much every single meals.
Yeah.
I'm still not the biggest fan of that, but I mean, fiber is just so important. I would rather eat carbs and proteins.
Yeah, wouldn't we all? Everyone would love to eat that.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, no, so it's basically fibers first on the plate and then proteins, and then you end up with carbs, just
Yeah.
so that it slows down the process of breaking down the sugar, and your body actually, well, how could I say, less sugar gets into your blood.
And
So
like a slower process of it going
exactly.
in. Okay, yeah,
So
good.
that's very important. And then no isolated like sweet treats. So if I haven't
Ah,
eaten in an hour or two, I probably shouldn't eat like those candies that are
yeah, or like
making
a
me very much wanting to eat them. But yeah, so it's basically, if you want a sweet treat, it's right after a big meal, and the big meal has to be, in a certain order. My breakfast has to be savory and very consistent, just to
yeah,
last me a little longer. And I shouldn't shy away from fat, for example, because that
yeah,
also slows down the process of, getting the sugar into your blood flow. So it's just been learning more about how your body works through digestion, things like that, is actually very interesting, because the human body is so intricate and very interesting.
yeah,
But yeah, sometimes it's not really easy, when you're on the road and you
of course.
maybe are not shopping the same food, and you're trying to look for similar things that you have back home. But it's just been a process of learning, and I mean, it's made such a big impact that it's now become a non-negotiable in my process, my tournament process, and my everyday life. So
Does
yeah,
did it almost feel like like when you changed your diet and you noticed you're waking up, did it almost feel like you had like a new superpower on the golf course?
definitely. Honestly, I can't even explain how I feel right now, but it's just on the course sometimes. Like I said, I would have those moments where out of nowhere I would be looking at my yardage book, and I would just see two blank pages. Nothing would speak
Whoa.
to me, and the distances would not make sense. And I just had that brain fog that would last for a couple holes and would get very difficult for me. And that was the mental aspect. Then you also have the physical changes that happen, when you start feeling very weak and almost like, how could I say, like a marshmallow, when you feel like you don't
Like
have muscles
really,
anymore.
oh, so that must have made like
Yeah,
swinging a golf club really difficult.
I know, right? It felt very different than when I feel strong and I have no problem with my blood sugar. Sometimes I would just stand over the ball. I'll be like, how the hell am I gonna hit this golf shot?
Oh.
So yeah, it's been a big change. I'm very happy about that.
So when you were playing like last year and the year before, like you were still like winning like tournaments, and you're still winning events. What kind of place do you have to put your mind to break past this and win those events?
Well, I I think we all have those mental constraint, like, how could I say it?
Yeah,
Like
that's
those
yeah, that
mental blocks that we put in front of ourselves, and that we are the only ones in control to break them or to make them. And I think what really helped me a lot on the course is just going back to the game. So remembering why I'm playing, remembering that I'm actually having fun, and that it's
yeah,
not just stress and it's not just work. It's not just my job. I'm lucky enough to call my passion my job. So I really have to go back to that and remember that I'm doing what I think is the most beautiful job in the world, and I'm out there playing. I have like maybe 5 holes left, 9 holes, 18 holes, whatever. And I'm just gonna go out there and enjoy it to the best of my ability. And whatever the result is at the end, I'm still gonna enjoy it and give my very best. And I think that really helps me stay grounded during the round, especially when I'm
Yeah.
in contention or I'm in a place where I can potentially win a tournament. And we're also competitive, that it means a lot. And sometimes you're kind of like, why does it mean so much to me? But it's just the competitor in us, in every player, I guess. And just going back to the game and the love of golf is what keeps me grounded in those moments.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you managed to draw on the passion that you've always had for it to be the fuel to keep you going through it. Because I can imagine that would have been such a scary and such a difficult time, but you have drawn on this like just like a childhood love of the game to bring you
Mhm.
through. It's like so cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like love for the game is growing every single day. So even today, I feel like I love it more than I loved it yesterday. And now I feel very lucky that I can put some words on tournaments that didn't really go my way and things that
Hmm.
I didn't really understand. And sometimes I would be very hard on myself and be like, how could you let this go? How could you do this? How could you do that? And just now knowing that there were some factors that were kind of out of my control really helps me put it into perspective. And now that I know that I'm in the best, place to perform how I want to perform, it just helps me realize that I didn't have to be so hard on myself a couple times. And if I find myself in a similar situation next, I at least know that I have keys in hands and that I have
Hmm.
tips and tricks and that I know my body a lot better. I know myself a lot better in my game, and I'm not as defenseless
Yes.
when those kind of episodes happen, and they happen less and less. Like I barely have them now, just because my blood sugar is a lot better. But yeah, it's a process. It's a journey, like we say.
Yeah, I read at the end of your win in when you played in France, there was a quote from you saying that you had to wait for an hour to find out whether you would go into a playoff, and you said, "I kind of hoped that I would get into the playoff because I thought, yay, more golf." I thought that, wow, that's amazing that you're almost like, I want to have a playoff. I want to play more golf.
Exactly. I mean, once you're told that you're actually the winner, you're very relieved and very happy. But during this hour where I had to wait, I was like, okay, how am I feeling? And I really tried to get into my mind and be like, okay, try to really understand how you're feeling. And the only thing that came up was I'm excited. If I have to play more golf, yay, let's go. That was really what I was feeling and experiencing on the moment. So I was like, I'll just be honest in the interview, and that was really my feeling at that moment.
I love this so much. It's so good. Do you meditate or anything to kind of get you into these spaces of being very calm? You seem to come across a very calm, very considerate and calm person.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I wouldn't call it meditation, but I visualize a lot. So
Okay.
I spend a lot of time visualizing my swing, visualizing the course, what I'm going to be asked for during my rounds. So if a course is like very tricky, I'm gonna need those kind of shots. If a
Hmm.
course has very tricky greens or difficult greens, I'm gonna spend a lot of time visualizing my putting, for example. And yeah, I like to think that I'm calm, so, but I also have a bit of a, how could I say it? Not a fiery temperament, but I can get pretty frustrated sometimes. I think I'm a
Yeah.
little bit of a perfectionist, and I mean, we're all very competitive, like we said. So it's just, I close my eyes for a couple seconds, I take a deep breath, and again, I remember that I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing. So that really helps me. But no, visualizing is a big part of the process as well, on and off the course.
Is that something that you work with your coach when you're practicing as well?
Yeah, for sure. I work on it almost every day, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's with my coach during practice session, training, things like that. But it's mainly like an individual process. So
Hmm.
when you're visualizing, it's mainly your mind and your thoughts, and learning to control them, and learning to control what you want to see and how you want to react in certain circumstances. So
Hmm.
whether you visualize everything happening perfectly, which can give you a lot of strength and confidence, or visualizing, okay, how am I going to react if this happens, or if I don't know, the weather turns bad, or if it starts raining, how am I going to react to this, how is my game going to change. I think it's very important to visualize the good and the bad, just to be prepared in every circumstances.
It's so good. I must, yeah, that visualization of good and bad must have helped as well throughout that injury process. Just thinking, I can go here or I can go here, and whatever happens, it will be okay.
Yes, exactly.
Did your I read that your mum is a physio. Did she help you a lot through your kind of recovery process?
Oh, definitely. She's a
Yeah.
huge part of the team. I mean, I can't even put words on everything that my mom and dad do.
Hmm.
The fact that she's a physio is just, whenever I have this slightest impression of something hurting or something maybe not going so well, I just go up to her and I'd be like, I feel this and that in my body. How can I make it better? She'll just look at me. She'll give me one of those real physio massages. So people often think that they are very relaxing things. Like, no,
No.
she goes ham into the muscle. She's not here to play, you know. She's not here to make you sleep. She's here to really go deep into the muscles. But that is priceless, honestly. And the fact that
Yeah.
she travels so much with me and that she can be there so often during tournaments, it's just been a huge help. Like Montauban, for example, in France, when I won,
Hmm.
it's kind of funny because, little fun fact, we had an Airbnb with a very low ceiling,
Hmm.
and we had how could I call them, like, you had the ceiling and then a little something under. So I don't know how to say it, but I bumped my head very hard.
Or like
Uh,
some wood that comes down from the ceiling. Yeah. Okay, I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah, it's like some kind of decoration stuff on the ceiling, and I just bumped my head very hard on it because I was walking and not watching in front of me, and it just really tensed my neck up and the upper part of my back, to the point where I had a raging headache for a couple days just
Uh,
because of how tense my muscles were.
yep.
And Magic Mom just helped me through it, and she just went ham into the muscles, and she really got me to feel a lot better. And on the course, I honestly don't think I would have won with that raging headache
Yeah.
if it would have stayed for 3 days. So yeah, if she was not there, it would have been a lot more difficult. And it's just little things that happen, or if you have a bad lie and you somehow wake up a little pain in your wrist or in your arms, things like that. Having a physio and your mom,
Yeah.
it's tremendous. I'm very lucky.
How many people do you usually take with you when you're traveling? Do you usually take your mom and dad and then maybe your coach as well? Do they all kind of follow you around?
Mainly mom and dad.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
mainly the two of them. Sometimes mom will have to work or dad will not be able to come for whatever reasons, but they are really the core of my team during tournament weeks. So it's usually dad on the bag,
Yeah.
mom helping me with everything outside of the course, so organization, food, grocery shopping, physio. They're all little things that add up during a tournament week, and that just could be a source of stress and a source of not feeling as rested as you should be. If you finish your round, you go like, okay, what should I eat today? And then you have to cook, you have to do everything yourself. It's a big help having them with me every week.
What's it like having your dad caddying for you? Is he like, do you like someone to tell you lots of things, or is he like, I just carry the bag, you hit the shots?
Well, it's been very very good this year. So he's been on the back for every tournament,
Hmm.
and we've just made a great team. Really, I mean, we've had ups and downs definitely because he's been on the back for several years now,
Yeah.
and it's just taken a little bit of time to really get to where we are right now and understand what kind of dynamic works best for us on the course. So I've actually realized that I don't need much help on the course when it
Hmm.
comes to club choice, shot choice, just everything related with golf. I usually do everything myself,
Hmm.
but having someone I can talk to, having that support, having someone I can just have a chat with and talk about something completely unrelated to what's happening at the moment is just a big help. And yeah, that is just, that constant source of love and support that's 100% in it when he's my caddy. He will not be looking around and just having a stroll. He'll really be
Yeah.
invested in what's happening, and as a competitor you really feel that because you're like, okay, I'm not alone, I'm not on my own in this, and that is 100% with me, and you also want to honor that.
Hmm.
So I think it's just we've gotten to a really good place and a really good dynamic that I think we should really try to preserve for the rest of the season because it's very important.
Yeah. Well, so it sounds as though he like you're a really good team together, which is like
Definitely.
perfect for that situation. Hey.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He's been like a great help. The past week in Germany was very hot, so I think it was about 35 degrees, and
Yeah. Cheese.
it was pretty tough. And on the
Hmm.
second round I had an afternoon tea time, and around hole 14, 15 I was really starting to not feel so great. So
Yeah.
the heat was really getting to me, and he was just going like, Lauren, you're doing great, you've got four more holes to go, just keep it simple, keep it fairway green, two putts, get to 18, and then you'll have a cold shower, you'll have a good night's rest. And it really helped me stay grounded and not, kind of fall into that, oh, it's hot, oh,
It's
I'm
hot. Yeah.
tired, and that kind of complaining circle that can get hard to get out of. So I was just like, oh yeah, he's right. I only have four holes left, three holes, two holes.
Yeah.
And even though I do what I love in the heat, it was very difficult. So I was just very happy when I hold that last putt on 18. I was like, I'm done for today. I'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow, but I'm not doing
Bedtime.
anything more today. It's just, no, it's going back home.
Yeah, like no media, no, I'm not speaking to
No,
anyone.
no,
It's time to
no,
go.
no. No putting practice, no hitting balls, no what. I'm just going home.
Oh, I love it. So you are going back to this second event in Sweden in 2 weeks' time?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, not even a week time. So we're flying on Sunday, and the tournament starts on Wednesday.
Oh, okay,
So
so it's a midweek tournament this week.
exactly, yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
we're doing Sweden and then flying straight to Manchester for the first tournament in the UK and Ireland.
Yeah, are you doing all three? Are you going to do the two England and then Ireland?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
good. Okay, nice. Do you like the traveling in between countries? Do you like traveling to different places?
Well, I love traveling, but I'm not in love with the process of going to the airport, waiting in the
Yeah.
airport, and then sitting in the plane. So I love getting there. Now
Yeah.
the whole process of getting there is, it's a little tiring, and it's a privilege, but sometimes it gets a little hard when you see a lot of airports and a lot of customs and a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah.
waiting. And yeah, sometimes it's delayed, sometimes it's cancelled. So
Hmm.
it can be a little stressful as well, but in the end it's just such a privilege to see so many different countries, meeting so many different people from around the world, that you honestly forget about all the hassle of actually traveling. So it's definitely a privilege.
Do you ever change up your travel? Do you ever try and do train instead of plane?
But I actually love trains. I just think they are very convenient, and you can just show up 10 minutes before your train and just get on the train and you have nothing to do. But I found that in Europe they are kind of expensive.
Yes.
So sometimes it's actually a lot cheaper to just fly.
Yeah.
Um, so I haven't really used the train much when it comes to traveling to tournaments, but when I'm going on a weekend getaway somewhere, the train is definitely my first choice.
Yeah, we my wife and I were over in Europe last year, and we took the train from Nice to Paris, and
Yeah.
it was cheaper than the plane.
Okay.
But I love that train ride. It's such a beautiful train ride up the countryside and then through the main part of Paris.
Yeah,
Sorry,
me
France.
too.
Yeah.
Me too, yeah. And you actually get to see a little bit of the country. You get to see the vibe, whereas on the plane it's a beautiful ride as well in the sky with the clouds and everything. But the train ride just gives you a little taste of the country, which is very nice. And it's very peaceful as well.
Oh yeah, so peaceful, yeah. And we were in the tickets for first class were the same as the tickets for the plane. So the
Yeah,
first class part of the
yeah.
train is so quiet, so
Mm,
chill. You get like nice air conditioning. It's so good.
yeah. And you actually get good food. I've actually gotten very good food on the train. And
Yeah.
it's just awesome
Whereas
with
yeah,
good
whereas
food.
plane, yeah.
Well, plane, you do have to be in business class or first class, but then this gets just out of budget. It's just
Oh
not,
yeah, yeah. You
we're
need
not there.
to you need to win every single week to do this, right?
Exactly. And maybe just for like one way somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you had your full year on the European tour, was there any place that you went to in particular that you really enjoyed visiting outside of the Gulf?
Well, I've actually loved a lot of countries. I've really liked Singapore.
Oh,
Um,
amazing. Yeah.
I have, yeah, my best friend lives in Singapore, and it was just very nice getting to see her there. It was very hot. I got sick from the AC, but it's just part of the beauty of traveling. What
Yes.
would be traveling without getting sick from the AC? But but no, honestly, the more I'm traveling, the more I fall in love with Europe.
hmm
So the more I really feel like Europe is such a jewel, and every country in Europe is, I don't know, the tradition, the history, the cities, the villages. I really fall in love more and more with it. So I'm just delighted whenever I go to a European country, and I love UK, the UK. I love Ireland. I love Spain, Italy. And honestly, I just love Europe. But traveling outside of it just makes you discover new cultures as well that you're maybe less used to. New people. People are very friendly outside of Europe as well. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just the vibe is very different. So I like going outside of Europe, but Europe
hmm
still holds a very special place in my heart.
Yeah, I realize now that I live in Australia how close everything in Europe is, and I realize,
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
Australia is enormous. You can drive for
Mm,
10 hours and you're still in the same state. Whereas in
right.
Europe, you
Oh,
can travel for 10 hours and you go across four countries.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can be very spontaneous in Europe. Like I live in
Yes.
Paris, and let's say on Thursday I go like maybe I want to spend the weekend in Rome, and you just book a ticket, you have an hour flight, you get to Rome, you spend the weekend in Rome, and then you go back home. I mean, I've never done it, but
But you can do
I
it.
feel like it will be very nice to do. So I'll keep it in mind one day, and maybe I'll have a little spontaneous trip somewhere. But it's just very fun to go like, oh, I want to go to London, Amsterdam. It's just everything's a couple hours away, whether it's by train or by plane. And even with the car, you can get to beautiful places in just a few hours.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Is there any golf courses outside of tournament golf that you'd love to go and play in inside Europe? Anywhere that you've thought, oh, I'd love to take a day trip there and go and play that?
I mean, I think honestly, I'm very drawn to Ireland, Scotland, the coastal courses over there by the
Yeah.
sea, the very old links courses. I think you have so many, it would be difficult to just list them all. But
Yeah.
I'm very, very drawn to Ireland. I love that place. I love that island, and then Scotland as well. And I think England has some beautiful golf courses. But my very first choice right now would be fly to either Scotland or Ireland and have a couple rounds at just coastal links courses and things that we really don't see anywhere else in Europe or in the world. They are very particular. They have like a
Yes.
very ancient vibe to them and like a very historical vibe. And you just feel like you could be golfing 100 years ago and it would have the same aspect, the same views, the same just you would be doing the same thing as people from 100 years ago, which I just think is lovely.
Yeah, it does have that kind of feel. I mean, Scotland, obviously, you're like spoilt for choice for courses. And I've been lucky enough to play the old course in St Andrews, and
Wow.
it really feels like you are playing on somewhere where hundreds and thousands of people have all done the same thing as you all the way through history.
Mm, yeah.
And it's a really magical place. I got to play with my dad, and we played during winter time. So there was kind of frost on the ground,
Oh,
and
awesome.
but it stayed dry. It wasn't super cold, and it wasn't very windy either. And I played one of my best
Lucky
rounds I've ever
you.
played. Oh, I was so lucky. I've grown up in Scotland for most of my life, so I know what a winter's day in Scotland can be like. And
Right.
usually it's raining. So to have
Yeah.
a to have a day in winter with no rain was just a dream. So, so
Wonderful.
good. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and I love those places that just feel like outside of time. It's just you're there and people were there so long ago and people will be there long after you're gone. And it
Yeah.
just feels like you're kind of lost in time and just having that grounding experience in such a amazing place as the old course, for example, must have been amazing. Must have been
Yeah.
great.
Oh, it was so, so good. I actually noticed that one of the events you played an event in Musselburgh in Scotland a few years back.
Yeah.
Um, did you drive past the Musselburgh Old Course at all on your way to the course? Do you remember?
I might have, but right now I don't. I think my memories are a little foggy.
Oh, it's like a nine-hole course that's inside a like a horse racing course, but
All right.
the course has existed there for almost 500 years. And
Wow.
the apparently Mary Queen of Scots, so the last Queen of Scotland, she played there apparently. It's one of the like kind of things that they have as a this is something that she did.
Amazing.
So if you're looking for a very old course in Scotland to play, where a queen could have played, then I would highly
Wow.
suggest that. It's great fun.
Well, I'll definitely keep it in mind. Amazing story. Love it.
It's so good, yeah. Hey, I was when I was reading through your biography as well, I saw that you're learning to speak Japanese. Has
Yes.
this been like a long time thing or like a short time thing?
No, a very long time thing now, over a decade. So,
Oh wow, so are you like fluent?
oh, no, I wouldn't call myself fluent, and I don't think I'll ever be, just because Japanese is so difficult.
It's
And
very hard, yeah.
yeah, it's just so different from everything we have over here in Europe that
hmm
I don't think I'll ever call myself fluent, but just the joy of being able to communicate in Japanese with Japanese people is just something that I really love. And I love the culture there. I love the people. They're so nice. And
Yeah.
I love the whole history of the country as well. And I actually just woke up one day, I was probably 11, and I heard Japanese on the TV, and I was like, I'm gonna learn this. But at the time, I didn't speak very good Dutch, which is my
Okay.
mom's language. So my parents were like, you would write, like, it would be better for you to learn Dutch, Lauren, honestly. Quit Japanese. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna quit, and I'm gonna learn both. And they were like, yeah, whatever. And they really thought it was just a phase, but I really fell in love with the whole country, and I was lucky enough to go there in 2022, right after
Yeah.
COVID. So they
Oh,
had just
amazing.
opened the borders. There were basically no tourists. I really felt like so privileged to be in a country that is so attractive to so many people around the world, and just be able to experience it with very few tourists and just the local Japanese that have been kind of closed up for about 2 years because of COVID. And they
Yeah.
were very welcoming when they saw tourists again and
Yeah.
uh, Europeans. And I was with my mom, and we just had a great time. And I was able to speak in Japanese pretty much the whole trip. So
Wow,
I
that's
was very
amazing.
proud of myself. But yeah, it's a hobby that I really like and that helps me do something else also on the road, instead of spending time on your phone doing nothing and then 2 hours is gonna pass anyway. And the way you choose to spend those 2 hours, I think matter a lot. And Japanese is just something that I really like. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever be fluent, and that's not my goal, but it's just very
Yeah.
fun to learn.
Do you speak a lot of different languages?
Well, I speak French, English, Dutch, and Japanese. I have like a few basics in Korean from
Yeah.
learning Japanese, but I think yeah, that's about it.
You're doing much better than me. I have English and a little bit of Scottish Gaelic, and I can say three things or four things in Japanese. I have a
Right.
Japanese colleague at work, and I
Okay.
I learned a couple of things from him. But
Right.
like you're saying, he was showing me the difference between the different ways that they write things, and he was like,
Yeah.
"This is my name in this type. This is my name in this type. This can also mean a
Yeah.
hundred other things." I'm like, okay, this is probably too complicated to learn for the first time at 37 years old.
Right. Right. No, it's such a beautiful language, but I'm also really focusing on just speaking and
Yeah.
understanding when someone speaks to me. But reading and writing, it's just, it's so hard that you have, I don't know how many thousand kanjis and characters you have to learn to actually be able to read a sentence. It's just a lot of hard work, and I just find it a lot more fun to just be able to discuss with someone rather than be able to read the newspaper. I mean, it goes hand in hand, but yeah, it's very difficult. So it's,
Do you do you do a lot of like studying in between like in tournaments? Is that like a kind of way that you relax? Do you like studying languages or studying history? It sounds as though you're like quite interested in sort of historical things.
well, I really like history. I really like languages. I really like everything that has to do with international affairs and geopolitics, things like that. So I like to stay curious.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say I really like studying, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure. Yeah,
um,
that's
I like to learn new things. I like to learn Japanese. Now the last 3 weeks, if you asked me, I don't think I had any time, honestly, to do
of course. Yeah.
anything other than golf and workouts and just rest. So sometimes you just don't find that time to do anything else. But
Hmm.
I like to read as well. I love reading books. I love watching movies, and just listening to music is also a hobby, I think. Like
Yeah.
finding new songs that you like and just having your, I don't know, your earphones on and just spending an hour listening to music could be very refreshing as well, which I like to do. So it's a mix of a lot of different things.
Do you have your earphones on when you're like at practice at the range at all?
Never, never,
Never.
never. No, no. I love music, but
Yeah.
I really don't like not hearing the sound of my club touching the ball, for example. And I just think like a golf swing, for example, is the feel, the look, and the sound of it. They are all very important factors. And sometimes I could be hitting good balls, but the sound of my 8 iron is just off. And I'll be
Yeah.
like, wait, something's just not right. And just not hearing those sounds, it just kind of throws me off. And then I feel like I'm also less productive, and my mind wanders a little more because you get carried away by the song, by the melody, by things like that.
Yeah.
And I just also like to know what's happening around me. So I have those noise canceling earphones,
Okay. Yeah.
earphones,
Yeah.
earbuds. um, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of not knowing what's happening around me. So I usually just practice without anything.
You're making me kind of reevaluate how I practice my golf now because I'm now starting to think, oh, I should probably focus on how the ball sounds when it's hitting rather than just saying, hey, that's a good shot. That looks okay.
Right. I don't know if it's when you get when you turn professional and it starts being your job. I think you start focusing on every single little details, and every single thing starts being very interesting, and you want to perfect every single aspect of your game, whether it's the sound that your driver makes. And I've actually said no to drivers before, for example, even though like the numbers were great, the balls were great, just because I didn't like the sound
The
of it. I
sound,
was
yeah.
like, nah, I'm not playing with this sound. And they're like, not gonna be possible. So yeah, we get kind of crazy, but
Do
but
do you use a lot of do you use like a kind of TrackMan or anything like that, or do you mostly go by like kind of feel and things first?
well, winter work is definitely based on TrackMan, I would
Hmm.
say, just because that's the thick of the technical work that you're gonna do for the season ahead. And having a TrackMan when you're working on 1 degree, you know, very small details, it's very difficult to train as efficiently something very specific in your club path or face path, things like that without a trackman. So I'm
Hmm.
very lucky that my coach has a trackman, has an indoor simulator that I can use during the winter, because it's also hard to be on the range for like a couple hours when it's -5 degrees outside. It's
Yes,
just you have
absolutely.
a million like sweaters, and you're not moving the same, the balls are not doing the same thing. And so I just feel like it helps me maximize my efficiency during the winter using a trackman. And then once the season starts rolling, it's basically just how does the ball look flying, how's the ball flight, how's the contact, and how's the swing feeling. And then the trackman really goes into the background, kind of.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Thinking about like all the kind of experiences that you've had with your injury and then coming back again, do you look far forward in the future to think about maybe like career goals that you have or where you'd like to be in say a year's time?
Well, I mean, definitely. I think you need like a clear vision of what you want to achieve to be able, at least in my case, to be able to like put down a plan and be
Hmm.
like, I need to do this, this, and this if I want to reach that goal, for example. So I think it's important to have long-term goals, like midway goals, and then short-term goals that you want to achieve now and that you really can see progress with, just
Hmm.
to keep you going and feel like, okay, I'm moving forward, I'm not staying in the same place, things like that. So I really like having long-term goals as well as very short-term ones, just to work on different things and keep the work interesting as well.
Yeah. Is there like a like the number one goal? Do you have like a goal that you're like, this is the thing I want to win or the thing I want to achieve?
But I mean, there are so many things that we would want to achieve, in a sports career, things like that. But I think in golf, as well as in many other sports, majors are like a huge thing.
Of
And
course.
when a great champion that has won many times on LPGA or on the PGA Tour, wins that first major, for example, or starts winning major, I think it just takes you to like completely different level of great player.
Hmm.
So I think majors are definitely in the back of the mind of every single player.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the probably the Evian for you, winning in like your home country would be really nice.
Definitely. Honestly, I wouldn't pick and choose one major to win.
Whichever one comes first.
Exactly. But no, like majors in Europe, we're very lucky to have two.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas the men, they have the Open, but we have the Women's Open and we have Evian. So
Yeah.
I think as a European winning a major in Europe is just, it's like an American winning the US Open. I think it just tastes different.
Yes, very much so. Yes. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It is very lucky that there's that extra like the fifth major for the women. So like there is two opportunities to win on this side of the ocean.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um it would the Solheim Cup team ever be something that you'd be looking to try and get into? You've done a lot of team golf as a junior and an amateur.
Definitely. I mean, who would say no to an invite? to the Solheim Cup. No, honestly, I mean, we all grow up watching the Ryder Cup, the Solheim Cup, and knowing how individual of a sport golf is, having that one event where you're playing as a team and you're playing for something bigger than yourself, like the Olympics as well. They're all very specific tournaments that I think would be like a dream among other dreams, but they would definitely be a dream for many players. And the Solheim Cup is very special. You'll represent Europe. I think I've made my love for Europe pretty clear.
Very clear,
since
yeah.
the beginning of this chat. But yeah, you play for Europe. You're playing against the Americans.
Yeah, you want to win for us, yeah.
And I mean, the Europeans have always done very well, whether it's in the Ryder Cup or the Solheim Cup. And it's just that team spirit is not something we get to experience a lot, especially as professionals, a little more as amateurs. But once you turn professional, it's very much about you all the time and your team. But yeah, playing in the Solheim Cup, for example, would be like a very big achievement in one's career as well, because it's the fruit of consistency and of long-term good golf, like you've proven yourself not on one, like during 1 week or on one event, but it's just weeks after weeks, you're good enough, to earn enough points or get a spot in the team. So I think it's a big achievement being in that team.
What event are you looking forward to in this season most, and why?
Well, I've thought about it and I've come up with 2 events.
Okay.
So they are both in Britain and Ireland. So I'm really looking forward to Ireland because I love the country. I love the people over there. I think they're some of the friendliest people I've ever met are from Ireland. So I'm really looking forward to that event. And then I'm also looking forward to Manchester.
Yeah.
Because it will be the first time that we come together as advisory board for the brand To a T that I am an ambassador for starting this year. And
amazing.
So it's an up and coming golf apparel brand that I'll
amazing.
be the ambassador for, and I'm also the creative designer. So every garments for the women's collection that will come out will be designed by me, which is kind of crazy.
That's so cool.
And so Manchester has been, we've decided to all meet up in Manchester. So the founder of the brand with the advisory board, and so I'm really looking forward to that, having maybe dinner and having like an advisory board meeting in person. We've all had them through video call and things like that. So I'm just very excited about the opportunity to wear the garments in the coming weeks or for the second half of the season. I think it's very fun, and I've been learning so much about the process of designing clothes, and it's been really, really fun outside of the golf course as well, just thinking about, okay, what kind of clothes would I like to wear? Because the founder was crazy enough to tell me, just design clothes for yourself and I'll put them on the market. And I was like, what do you mean? So yeah, it's been so much fun, and so I'm really looking forward to that.
That's amazing. And what was the name of the brand again?
It's To a T. So you know that, that expression when you say, "Oh, it suits you to a T."
Yes, of course.
Pretty
Yeah.
It
Nice.
So it's like it's clothing that's supposed to fit you perfectly, basically, if we honor that name.
So good. And so this will be launching in maybe like a month's time, is it?
Yeah, it will be very, very soon. So
yes, okay.
We're making the final adjustments. We've received the samples, we've worked with the factories, and we're really trying to get the perfect result on the garments before putting them on the market. The first year is usually probably like the most difficult one, getting everything sorted, everything rolling. And then once that's good, I think we'll be able to release collections after collections, and I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, whenever you see 280 garments, hopefully
I will be
you'll
thinking
like
of you.
Yeah, I'll be the ones who drew them and designed them. My name is Lauren Holmey, and that was golf.